The war had ended, though nobody on the front lines believed it. The guns had gone quiet, but the silence felt unnatural, like the stillness before a storm. I had survived 7 campaigns against the Zerati Empire, an alien civilization older than humanity's written history. Their soldiers were bioengineered predators, their ships designed like predatory birds that swallowed fleets whole. And yet, here I was, a human lieutenant named Marcus Hale, assigned to guard the ruins of the alien capital. The once glorious city was a graveyard now. Towers collapsed into heaps of black stone, strange plants smoldering in the aftermath of orbital strikes. My squad had been rotated out, leaving me on night watch. They didn't trust the Zerati survivors, and someone had to remain behind. That someone was me. The air was cold and thin. My tent was little more than a canvas sheet over carbon poles, set beside what had once been the alien royal palace. They said their queen had vanished during the final siege, either dead in the rubble or spirited away by her loyalists. Command didn't care which. I lay down that night with only my rifle within reach, the silence of a broken world pressing against me. I told myself I would rest only for an hour, just enough to keep my mind sharp. But exhaustion claimed me. And when my eyes opened again, the world had changed. Someone was breathing beside me. Middle. I froze, every soldier's instinct telling me to roll, grab my rifle and fire. But the warmth against my side paralyzed me, not from fear, but from the shock of something impossibly soft, impossibly alive. When I turned my head, I nearly stopped breathing. Her skin shimmered faintly in the dim moonlight, silver and pale lavender, a color no human flesh could hold. Long strands of hair like liquid night spilled across my chest. Her body was slender yet powerful, her breathing deep, steady, untroubled. The crown was what gave her away. It wasn't a physical object, but a faint crest of glowing bioluminescence along her temples, the mark of her bloodline. I was holding the missing queen of the Zerati in my arms. I didn't dare move. My pulse thundered so loud I was sure it would wake her. How had she come here? Why me of all people? If command knew, they'd drag her away in chains, or worse, dissect her to prove humanity's dominance. And yet she slept. It wasn't the restless sleep of the hunted. It was trust. Hours passed. The cold night seeped into the tent, and I realized something stranger still. She had wrapped her hand around mine, her claws retracted, her grip fragile, as if she feared I would vanish. When dawn painted the ruins in pale light, she stirred. Her eyes opened, golden, burning, but softened by something I couldn't name. "You are not afraid," she said, her voice a low ripple, musical yet edged with weariness. I swallowed hard. Should I be? Her lips curved in what might have been the ghost of a smile. "All your kind fear me. They call me the Devourer, the Widow of Stars, the one who bathed worlds in fire." I felt my throat dry out. I'd heard those titles whispered in military briefings, each name carved into human memory with blood. "And yet," I said carefully, "you're here. In my tent." Her gaze searched mine, something raw and unguarded flickering across her face. "Because," she whispered, "I am tired of being a weapon." The silence stretched between us. Outside, human patrols marched, unaware that their most wanted prize lay inches away from my chest. I should have shouted, raised the alarm, fulfilled every oath drilled into me as a soldier. Instead I said, "Then what do you want?" Her answer was simple. "Peace." Over the following days, the queen, her name was Serenia, returned each night. I never saw her enter. I would blink, drift toward sleep, and she would be there, curling against me as if I were the only safe place in the galaxy. At first I lay stiff, half expecting her to slit my throat. But she never did. Instead she spoke. In whispers she told me of her people. That the Zerati were not born as conquerors but shaped into it by ancient wars long before humanity left its cradle. That she had been raised in isolation, taught to be untouchable, her body engineered to inspire fear. That she had never, in all her centuries of life, chosen for herself until now. And she chose to rest beside me. I listened. I told her in turn about Earth. About rain on city streets, about the laughter of children in parks, about how coffee tasted better at sunrise. Small things. Human things. She laughed once, quietly, as if the sound startled her. But danger loomed. My commanding officer noticed my fatigue, the strange distraction in my eyes. "You're hiding something, Hale," he said one evening, his gaze sharp. "The locals whisper about shadows near the palace ruins. If you know anything, report it. We won't give the aliens a chance to rebuild." I nodded stiffly, my stomach twisting. If they found Serenia, they wouldn't show mercy. To them she wasn't a woman. She was a symbol of terror. That night when she appeared again, I told her, "They're hunting you. If they find you here, you won't live to see another dawn." Her golden eyes studied me. Then, with a calm that chilled me, she asked, "And what will you do, human? Will you hand me over?" I should have said yes. It was the safe answer, the loyal one. But when I looked at her, this queen who had once commanded fleets, now trembling as though waiting for betrayal, I realized the truth. "No," I whispered. "I won't." Climax. The betrayal came sooner than I expected. A scouting drone, its sensors sharper than human eyes, caught movement near my tent. Soldiers surrounded the camp at dawn, weapons drawn, their commander barking orders. "Bring the queen out. Alive if possible. Hale, stand aside." Serenia stood in the shadows of the tent, her form cloaked in bioluminescence. She could have fought, could have torn them apart with claws and strength that dwarfed human limits. But she didn't. She looked at me instead. "Do you believe me, Marcus?" she asked softly. The words struck deeper than any blade. Because I did believe her. I believed her weariness, her longing for peace, the way she held me at night not as a soldier or a subject, but simply as a man. I stepped forward, rifle in my hands, not pointed at her but at my own squad. "She's under my protection," I said, my voice steady though my heart thundered. The commander's eyes widened. "You've lost your mind. She's the enemy." "No," I said. "She's the only chance either of our species has to end this cycle." The standoff burned in the morning air. Guns raised, fingers tense. I knew I couldn't win against all of them. But I also knew Serenia wasn't just watching, she was waiting. Finally she stepped out, her glow bathing the ruins in faint light. She raised her hands, not in threat, but in surrender. "Enough blood," she said, her voice carrying a strange command, not to kill but to listen. And against all odds they did. Ending. They took us both away, not in chains but under watch. Interrogations followed, days of suspicion, negotiations that balanced on a knife's edge. Yet through it all, Serenia never released my hand. Weeks later, I stood in a chamber where human diplomats and Zerati envoys faced one another. At the center stood Serenia, not as a warlord, but as a sovereign offering peace. She spoke of coexistence, of ending the cycle of conquest. And when she faltered, uncertain, her eyes found mine in the crowd. I nodded once. "Steady."